No other beekeeper on YouTube compares to me as far as how they manage their bees. May not look like winter, but it is February 22nd here in Michigan. We had a couple warm days. All my colonies, all 107 of them, were outside 2 days ago doing cleansing flights. I didn't have enough time to do hive inspections outdoors because it took me 3 hours to put them out and 3 hours to get them back in, and they had about 3 hours of flight time to do the cleansing flights. I thought that was more important, to leave them alone, let them do their cleansing flights. And so I brought them back in that day. And yesterday I went through 22 colonies. This colony here, they had clipped her wings, the queen's wings. So I made a decision after looking through a few more colonies, looking for a colony that didn't have a queen. Because I had a small colony, had a good queen, and I was looking for a place to put her. So at the end of the day, the queen that had her wings clipped, I killed her. And today I put in, it's hard to see through the screen, but I put in the queen from another colony, indoors, in my house. And at the end of the day, I'll check and see how they're doing. Keeping them warm. Actually, I'm heating all the rooms right now. Let me pause. I managed to get 22 hive inspections done yesterday in this room. It's early in the morning, it's before 9 o'clock. It's not really bright out, it's cloudy. But I did locate the queen in this colony, and this is a large colony. These colonies here, when you put your bees outside, they do cleansing flights, all the sick bees will die and they won't come back into the hive. So your colonies end up getting small. So I went through that day, before I loaded them up, brought them back inside, and I checked to see how big the colonies were. I ended up with 38 colonies that got smaller. So out of 106 colonies now, because I just killed the queen yesterday, I'm going through, checking them, making sure they have queens. If they don't have a queen, I'm going to put in the queen from a small colony and maybe combine those bees with other small colonies. This one right here is fine. My bees only live 3 to 4 months through winter because of all the crop farmers in my area. I'm surrounded by crop farmers. If I didn't do what I'm doing, I wouldn't be able to have honeybees, okay? I have to do this. After 11 years of experience with honeybees, I've realized the things that I have to do in order to keep my bees alive and try to expand. Will I ever be able to make money doing this? Not as long as there's crop farmers in my area. Can I go around and shoot all the crop farmers? No, they'd put me in prison. So I have to deal with this until society falls apart and there's no more crop farmers, or they run out of diesel fuel or whatever. I'm trying to continue to hold out. I'm putting videos on telling you guys the toxic chemicals cause more harm to your honeybees than the varroa mites. I can get rid of the varroa mites during the fall and going into winter, and they're not a big issue right now. I've shown you that a couple videos ago. I had a colony that shrunk, got really small to the point where there weren't enough bees to restart, and I did not find a single varroa mite in the cap brood, okay? So this colony right here, this is all the honey they have. I did find the queen. I'm not gonna risk that queen again to show you that queen. She's a darker queen. I breed my own queens. I did 150 of them last summer. The commercial bees come into my area. I use their drones to breed my virgin queens. But towards the end of summer, fall, those bees will rob from my colony. So it kind of equals out. You know, I take advantage of those drones during the summer, but towards the end of summer and fall, they're really a pain in the ass robbing them. And then they pass their varroa mites into my colonies. See, the commercial bees will bring in their varroa mites from out west in the almonds. They pick them up with all the other bees. And I don't care how well they inspect the colonies there. There's varroa mites there. And they bring them back to the backyard beekeepers that manage to keep the varroa mites under control. And the varroa mites spread throughout the backyard beekeepers' hives that summer, okay? It's a pain in the ass. If you guys quarantine your bees, we wouldn't have this issue. And you guys whine about your losses, you know, the big commercial beekeepers whine about how many losses they had that year, CCD. They just want to call it colony collapse disorder. It's the toxic chemicals. I've been doing this indoor hive inspections for 6 years now. And I document everything that goes on with my hives. I can see my colonies shrinking. Instead of living 5 to 6 months through the winter as a worker bee's supposed to, you Google it. You can find places that says 5 months. You find places that say 6 months. I can only get 3 to 4. So towards the end of February, my colonies are getting so small, they would not be able to restart outside, okay? I have to bring them in and warm them up. Right now, I'm keeping this around 55 degrees, okay? If I didn't do that, the brood wouldn't, if you open up a hive and you see eggs, but you don't see anything capped, you don't see any larvae, that's because they're not warm enough. There's not enough bees in there to keep those eggs warm enough to even start larvae to make the brood, okay? But if you open up a hive and you see cap brood, you know they're doing okay. But just to make sure, you got to remember, bees are dying throughout. Every day I'm losing bees. Because I just cleaned out 2 hives right here. See? Dead bees, and they've been cleaned out a couple weeks ago. I've done over 200 inspections so far this winter. So my bees are constantly dying. My colonies are constantly getting smaller. So you have to account for that. So just bring them inside. If you have small colonies, bring them inside so they can try to get restarted. I don't buy queens. I don't buy packages. I don't buy nukes. I'm self-sustaining, okay? I use domino cane sugar. I try to use everything non-GMO. And I wasn't able to make my own non-GMO pollen substitute. So I had to buy AP23 from the Dodont. And I'm finally putting this in where it's supposed to be because I didn't have a chance to do it earlier. I just thought I could put it on top of the inner cover and it dried out and there's a big hassle. So I'm putting this in and I'm going to take, this is what I use during the summer. I put a mason jar in these chick drinkers. I'm going to put this on the inner cover and I'm going to put this hive somewhere where I can put syrup in it every day. 2 parts domino cane sugar, 1 part water. And I'll squirt syrup in here every single morning until I run out of honey frames, okay? I admit that. Until I have a colony that loses their queen and I can take frames of honey from them. But I'm going to I put the number on the front and I'm going to put a piece of tape. It's going to have NH on it, need honey. So I'll remember this one needs honey. And then I'll remember I got to put syrup in it, okay? So this is what I'm doing that you guys aren't doing. And I don't know what else to tell you. It's the toxic chemicals. If you guys don't want to stand up against Uncle Sam, he's been destroying this country for decades. The toxic chemicals that are killing your honeybees are going to cause you to eventually get cancer. Not everybody gets cancer, just like not every one of my colonies has an issue with the pesticides, the fungicides, and the herbicides. But a lot of them do. Okay? And if you guys don't stand up against the government, you're going to continue to have these issues. But the rich people, they're making money. The rich people cause majority of the problems in the world because they're making money. All right? You guys got to understand that. I don't know why. You seem to follow beekeepers on YouTube that aren't really helping the honeybees. They're just helping themselves. And just because somebody's down south at some other location and not surrounded by crop farmers and they're doing good, maybe you're not doing so good. Maybe the reason why you're not doing so good is because you got crop farmers around your area during the summer spraying chemicals, getting into the environment, and your bees bringing it into the hive. It's in the honey, it's in the wax, it's in the pollen. That's already been proven. Google it, okay? It's not rocket science. If you guys weren't so brainwashed and stupid, we wouldn't have all these issues, okay? That's all I got to say.